revealed a moment that almost escaped the camera, is now shaking the entire fandom. What really happened between Jikook, and why did almost no one notice it at the time? Welcome to the Jikook Lover channel, where even the smallest detail can turn into the biggest clue. Before we begin, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because what you're about to see might change the way you look at Jikook forever. Because this time, we're not talking about just any moment. We're talking about something nearly hidden, and that's exactly what makes it so suspicious. The fandom world is shaking once again, not because of a massive stage performance, not because of an official statement, but because of something incredibly small, incredibly brief, and almost invisible. A moment that lasted only seconds. A moment that, at first glance, seemed completely ordinary. But when replayed, slowed down, and carefully observed, everything changed. The question now is, was it just a coincidence, or something that has been hiding in plain sight all along? The video first surfaced quietly, just one among countless fan recordings. Nothing unusual at the beginning. No loud reactions. No dramatic focus. Until someone noticed it. And from that second on, everything exploded. In that short clip, two figures who have long been at the center of global attention, Jimin and Jungkook, appear in the same frame. There's no major interaction, no obvious gesture, and that's exactly what makes it different. Because in its simplicity, there's something that feels too real. A glance, a subtle movement, a pause that shouldn't mean anything, yet feels far too long to be accidental. Fans began to question everything. Why does this moment feel different? Why do their expressions shift so quickly? And most unsettling of all, why did the camera almost miss it? As if it wasn't meant to be seen. Theories began to spread. Some say it's just an illusion, that the human mind naturally searches for patterns, even when there's nothing there. But others strongly disagree, because this isn't the first time. It's not the first time Jikook has been caught in small moments that feel deeper than ordinary interactions. It's not the first time fans have sensed something unspoken, yet undeniably present. And this time, the evidence feels stronger, clearer, harder to ignore. In the footage, now viewed millions of times, Jungkook, in a split second, shifts his attention. Not toward the camera, not toward the crowd, but toward Jimin. And Jimin as if he already knew. There's no surprise in his expression, no confusion, just something difficult to describe, a mix of calm, awareness, and familiarity. What does that mean? Is this simply silent communication between two people who are extremely close? Or something more? What makes fans even more curious is the timing. Why did this moment happen when no one was really watching? Why was there no obvious interaction afterward? Why did everything return to normal, as if nothing had happened? And maybe that's exactly why it feels more real. Because it wasn't performed. It wasn't meant for the spotlight. Yet somehow, it was captured anyway, almost by accident. Some fans have even started connecting this moment with older ones, piecing together fragments that have been scattered over time. And a pattern begins to emerge. The same kind of glance, the same subtle reactions, the same repeated gestures. Is it habit? A coincidence? A silent code? Or something deeper that has been carefully kept away from the public eye? Social media quickly exploded. Comments flooded in from around the world. I can't stop thinking about this. Why does this feel different this time? This is not just coincidence. But of course, not everyone agrees. Some argue that fans are overanalyzing, that people are seeing things that simply aren't there. And that's where the debate begins. A debate not just about one moment, but about how we've been interpreting their relationship all along. Are we seeing what's truly there, or just what we want to see? But one thing is certain. This moment cannot be ignored. Because the more you watch it, the stranger it feels. The more you analyze it, the more questions arise. And maybe that's where the mystery truly lies. Not in what is clearly visible, but in what was almost invisible. Because sometimes, the biggest truths are hidden in the smallest details everyone else overlooks. And now the biggest question is no longer what happened in that moment. But the conversation didn't stop there, it only grew louder. As more people revisited the clip, something unexpected began to happen. Details that were invisible at first suddenly became impossible to ignore. Fans started zooming in, enhancing brightness, adjusting contrast, doing everything they could to uncover what the original footage might have concealed. And with every new version that surfaced, the same question echoed again and again. Why does this feel intentional, even when it looks accidental? Some pointed out the body language, The way Jungkook's posture subtly shifts before the glance even happens, as if something had already caught his attention before anyone else could notice. Others focused on Jimin's reaction, or rather, the lack of one. Because that's what stood out the most. He didn't react like someone surprised. He didn't react at all. And somehow that silence spoke louder than any obvious gesture ever could. Was it familiarity? Was it expectation? Or was it something so natural between them that it no longer required a reaction? The deeper fans dug, the more unsettling the pattern became. This wasn't just about one clip anymore. It was about a series of moments, small, scattered, almost insignificant on their own. But when placed side by side, they began to tell a story. A story with no clear beginning, and no confirmed ending. Old videos resurfaced. Moments from concerts, behind-the-scenes footage, casual interactions that had once been overlooked were suddenly re-examined under a completely different lens. And that's when things took an even more intriguing turn. Because people started noticing something they hadn't paid attention to before. Timing. The timing of glances. The timing of movements. The timing of when they chose to look, and when they chose not to. It didn't feel random anymore. It felt synchronized, as if there was an unspoken rhythm guiding them, one that didn't rely on words, signals, or obvious cues. Just instinct, just awareness, just something that couldn't easily be explained. And that realization made the entire situation even more complicated. Because if it was just coincidence, then why did it keep happening? But if it wasn't, then what exactly were people witnessing? The debate quickly split into two sides. On one side were those who believed this was simply the result of years of friendship, trust, and closeness. Two people who had spent so much time together that they naturally understood each other without needing to communicate directly. To them, this wasn't mysterious. It was normal. But on the other side were those who couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more beneath the surface. Something subtle, something controlled, something that appeared only in fleeting moments, moments that were never meant to be the focus. And perhaps that was the most unsettling part of all. Because if something only appears when no one is supposed to notice it, does that mean it was never meant to be seen? Or does it mean it was simply impossible to hide completely? As the clip continued to circulate, even casual viewers began to feel it. That strange sense that something was off. Not in a negative way, but in a way that didn't quite fit into ordinary explanations. A pause that lingered too long. A glance that carried too much weight. A connection that felt too immediate to be accidental. And yet, still not enough to be proven. That gray area became the center of everything. Because it left room for interpretation. Room for imagination. Room for doubt. And in a fandom as passionate and detail-oriented as this one, that's all it takes for a moment to become something much bigger than itself. What started as a barely noticeable clip had now turned into a global discussion. Not because of what was clearly shown, but because of what might have been hidden within it. Some fans even began asking a different kind of question. What if this wasn't the only moment we missed? What if there were dozens, even hundreds, of similar interactions that simply slipped past unnoticed because no one was looking closely enough? And suddenly, the focus shifted. It wasn't just about analyzing one clip anymore. It was about rethinking everything. Every interaction, every shared frame, every second that had once been dismissed as ordinary. Because now, nothing felt entirely ordinary anymore. And that shift in perspective changed everything. It blurred the line between reality and interpretation, between evidence and assumption, between what was seen and what was felt. And maybe that's why this moment continues to haunt the fandom. Because it doesn't provide answers. It only raises better questions. Questions that don't have clear conclusions. Questions that depend entirely on how each person chooses to see it. And perhaps that's exactly what makes it so powerful. Because in the end, this isn't just about Jikook. It's about perception. It's about the human tendency to search for meaning, even in the smallest, quietest details. It's about the possibility that sometimes the most important moments are the ones that almost go unnoticed. And maybe, just maybe, that's why this particular moment feels different from all the others. Because it doesn't try to prove anything. It doesn't try to be obvious. It simply exists quietly, briefly, and yet undeniably, leaving behind just enough evidence to spark curiosity, but never enough to confirm the truth. So now the question becomes even more unsettling. If moments like this can exist right in front of us without being fully understood, then how many other, invisible moments have already happened, silently shaping a story we still don't fully see?